sending your Lions buddies? Where do they get to go?
Oh man, they get to go wherever they want. But when I see them, I make sure I get them some. I told them I make sure dinner's on me. So take them, make sure they eat good, take good care of them. So I talked to a few of the guys. I let them know that for sure. But I mean, those guys they finished the season playing great ball, and I think that's great for that organization going forward. And those guys get those guys confidence going into the offseason. So I'm always happy for those guys to succeed, except when they play in the Seahawks.
What was it like? I mean, you obviously have ties to that organization, plus the stakes involved in the games. What was it like watching that?
I mean, it was cool. It was cool. Of course, I was cheering for those guys. Still have a lot of friends, and I mean, I always keep up with them. I always keep up and see what they're doing, anyways. Just because, I mean, you always got a special place for the special place in your heart for the guys that drafted you and that organization. So for me, it's never any bad blood. It's just watching and cheering those guys on, and just happy for them individually.
How bad do you want to play in the Super Bowl?
I mean, I'm not getting any younger. So for me, I mean, I feel like I don't have, I still can play a long time, but I feel like I just don't have years to waste. So for me, it's always important. That's always been a goal since I was a kid. So to have that opportunity, it would be super dope. And love to just have my family there and enjoy with my family, because that's always been the most important thing to me, is spending those moments with my family when those things happen.
Is that an all-pro, the two things maybe you haven't yet accomplished?
Yeah. Those are two of the things that, even the all-pro thing, that wasn't even something that I came in the league trying to accomplish. I mean, as a sixth rounder, I just wanted to stay around the league as long as I could and play as much as I could. But, as you continue to play, you continue to get better, and, you continue to see yourself being up there with the top guys in the league. You always want those opportunities. So, yeah, those two are the goals that, that I would say stand out for me.
Not that you needed any validation, but Sunday you talked about that interception and how it might be the most meaningful to get Defensive Player of the Week as a result.
Right.
Is that special? More special?
It's definitely special. You grow up and you always see, Michael Jordan and the Kobe, and, you got guys like Kyrie now, and, I know LeBron gets a lot of unwanted hate, but he's one of the most clutch players of all time too. And to come through in that moment for my team, being a captain, I think that's what made it so much more sweet. I just think, the honor, that's extra. I don't really care about that. It's cool. But for me, just to be and do that for my teammates, I think that's what's more important for me, because the individual stuff, like, I honestly don't care about the individual stuff. I care about us winning games and being able to get into the playoffs. I mean, that's always been what's the most important thing to me, and I think it's special. You still think about it, but you move on, and you just go hope I can make one of those plays this week and propel us to win the game, and maybe this time I'll pick 60.
Tyler
Brought
was
up the 1-year anniversary of your injury the other day. After the pain subsided, and you endured the immediate shock of it all, what was going through your head at that time in terms of what your career might look like after that?
Speaking of 1 year today, got surgery, and successful surgery. So, it's just see these milestones continue to pop up. It's just a reminder to me, like I tell you guys, I never take it for granted. Never take this game for granted. Always blessed to have this opportunity. But when those things happen, for me, my mind was everywhere. You try to stay strong. You try to, put on the bravado face of, I'll be back. I'll be back better than ever. I kept saying that. But it's easy to tell yourself that until you're able to, kind of get back and you start rehabbing and and, you continue rehabbing. And for me, my rehab went all the way to July. So I was rehabbing all the way to July and able to start training in July. So for me, it was just like a 6-7 month process of continuing to tell myself that I'll be the same player, I'll be back better. And, you go through, you feel it's like, some of these things I can't do right now. Am I going to ever get back? So for me, it was always that question, that doubt. And for me, it's always kind of, just trusting God. And I mean, my Bible plans and things like that, it was always about, doubt, anxiety, things like that to help me get through those times. And for me, I've been blessed to pull through. And honestly, to tell you guys the truth, like, I'm still getting back to being myself. You know what I mean? Like, of course you're gonna say you back, but you still get back. You still see certain things. You still feel scar tissue breaking up in your leg and things like that. So for me, I knew it was gonna be a long recovery, and you never want to say like, this year I might not be myself, but I'm gonna still be out there. But that's the reality of, when you have a gruesome injury like me, it's kind of like, you out there and you doing those things, but you're never truly yourself until you have a full year to get over those things. And I'm still rounding into form week 21, 22 of the season. So I'm just blessed to go through the process and be able to share my journey with other people.
Quandre, you guys are considered huge underdogs this week. Do you block out the noise, or do you embrace that?
I mean, I tell everybody, I feel like I've been an underdog my whole career anyway. So for me, that's no different for me. I mean, who wouldn't put us as underdogs? You going San Francisco, they've been on a roll. They played great ball. They division winners. They beat us twice. Why wouldn't they be, considered the favorite? So for me, I just enjoy the process. I enjoy the process, and I'm just blessed I get another opportunity to go play the game I love and go out there and give it my all.
Tyler was just up here saying, kind of similar, feeling like you guys have nothing to lose. Gino was making some jokes, seemed pretty loose. Do you feel that around the building this week, that even though it's the playoffs, guys are pretty loose and enjoying themselves?
I mean, I think we've been like that the last couple weeks. I just feel like nobody expected us to be in the playoffs. So the last 2 weeks, we just like, well, what do we really have to lose? You know what I mean? Nobody's giving a shot. Even the last week of the season, everybody's like, oh, the Seahawks had a 30% chance to get in the playoffs. And for us, we just continue to do our thing, dance at practice and have fun and enjoy the moments, because these moments are all we can ask for after, especially seeing something that happened with DeMar Hamlin, last week. For us, it's just like, you got to enjoy these moments because you might never get these opportunities again. So we just taking it and enjoying it, and, whatever happens, happens. But, I mean, for us, we just enjoying the process each and every day and just being the Seahawks that Pete just lets us have fun and do our thing.
We know you and Tyler have been close for a long time. You're a captain this year. He's the captain. How have you seen him kind of grow and evolve in that role this year?
I mean, besides talk my ears off every day, I mean, it's crazy because Locke has been the same person since I met him in 2013, 2014. He's been the same exact person. But I couldn't ask for a better friend, a better teammate, somebody that I consider a brother that I know I can call at any moment. And, I know he'll be there for me. And as you guys seen, when I had surgery, he was right there beside me. When I woke up, he was right there. You know what I mean? So just to be able to see him for his first time being a captain, handle it the way he's handled it, fight back from injuries, always be a team first guy. I mean, it's special. You know what I mean? You don't see too many guys that have the accolades and the underappreciation that he has, that just continues to be a role model and just to be a great citizen all the time. And he's never been a selfish guy. He's never been one of those guys that's asking for the ball or, demanding the ball, going to the media, doing those things. He's just been a stand-up guy his whole career, and that's who he'll continue to be. No matter the freaking long talks that he got to have with me and I got to listen to all the time. I always love him to death, and I figured out how to get off the phone with him. Just make up an excuse. My daughter has to do something, and he'll get off the phone. So that's typically what I've been doing for the last couple years now.
You trust him to sell your house someday?
Nah, I trust him if I need to sell my house, but I ain't bought a house in Seattle. I mean, I know he does real estate in Texas too, but I got a real estate agent out there, so him and my real estate agent are good friends anyway, so we just leave it at that.
There's so many things that Gino did this year and records that he set, but he said the one that meant the most to him, his goal, was to be able to start and play every snap.
Right.
What does that say about him or where his focus is?
I mean, that's dope. You know what I mean? Because for a guy like G, I mean, he could have set goals and been like, You know, for me, I want to throw for so-and-so amount of yards and yards and touchdowns and all that other stuff just to get the biggest contract you can get. But for him, being able to be accountable and being there for his teammates was the most important thing for him. And that just says a lot about the character of him and who he is as a competitor. And, you know, he took a big shot on Sunday and went right back into the game, which he was kind of mad that I was joking with him right after that about him getting popped on the sideline. But that's just the type of competitor and person he is. And I'm super proud of him. You know what I mean? I'm super proud of him. And, I mean, we're going to need him this week. And for him, you know, he wants to keep adding to that legacy of, you know, this 2022-2023 football season. He got his perfect opportunity this week with us being underdogs and us going on the road and going to play a big game.
Speaking of Gino, you said that you're constantly letting guys know that your hands are among the best in the locker room.
I mean, for a while, I couldn't say that anymore. You know, for a while, I didn't have any interceptions, and I had dropped like 3 in a row, and then I dropped a big one against the 49ers. I was kind of questioning my hands a little bit, but I mean, that's just the work that I put in the offseason, catching the football. I mean, honestly, you guys would be amazed at how many footballs I really catch in the offseason. My trainer, who's my cousin, he was a former quarterback at Texas State, and it's just like football after football after football. Like, I'm just catching footballs every chance I'm doing field work. Every drill that I do has a football in it. That's just how I kind of go about my business. And this offseason, I wasn't able to do that because obviously I couldn't train, but just getting back into the rhythm and, you know, always trusting in it. Funny story is I remember my rookie year, I used to go up to Calvin Johnson and I'd be like, these hands are second to none. And he would look at me and just laugh, like, you don't even have any interceptions. What are you talking about? But that's always the confidence that I kind of had in my hands and my catching ability. So that just kind of goes to tell you that if I talk trash to Calvin Johnson about my hands, I talk trash to anybody about my hands. So that's just kind of what it is.
Between Tariq, Mike, and Kobe, you got 3 corners who hadn't been full-time starters before, and then after Jamal goes down, you got 4 other safeties that start. Has any of that put your leadership to test, or what has that done for you as a leader this year?
I mean, it's definitely tested me. It's definitely tested me, and it's definitely made me better on how I got to approach certain guys and how I have to be on my P's and Q's every day, because those guys are looking up to me and looking for me for answers a lot of the times. And for me, it definitely tested me because I'm not a guy with a lot of patience anyways. So for me to have to go out there and, you know, play with 4 different safeties and play with my young guys at corner, it definitely would test me at certain points. But, you know, nobody on the outside really sees that. They only see, you know, 6 is back there. He's supposed to do what he's supposed to do. And I think you have a different level of being comfortable when you can look to the left and right and you can see the same guys every week. Just kind of puts you at ease where I know what I got to do and he knows what he has to do. But I've been blessed to be able to stay healthy, and as everybody goes through those transitions, I've been able to be this steady rock back there for, you know, all the guys. And 2 years in a row for me, you know, to play a lot of football. I think Sunday was my 50th consecutive start. So for me, you know, being available has always been something for me. But it's good to be out there and have the same corners. You know, having different safeties can be a little challenging, but you communicate with them, tell them what you want them to do, and, you know, hopefully they do it, and it kind of puts me at ease.
Anybody tested that patience the most?
Oh, man. I mean, it's certain times I get a little testy. You know, I get a little feisty, but I try to stick and stay calm as much as possible. That's why I come to the sideline and just kind of decompress. But I mean, I've had some blow-ups on the sideline a couple of times this year, but I've kind of matured past that.
Did it also teach you about trusting them once you give them information and they're not, you know, overplaying that sector of the field? Did you have to kind of go through that a little bit?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, anytime you play football with, you know, new people, you always kind of wonder, you know, when game time hit, how are they going to react? And I feel like with me, I don't know. I've always kind of been a person that, you know, it takes me a lot to trust people, you know, before, you know, I fully open up and be who I am. So for me, it took a while. It took me a little bit, but to know that, you know, if I make a call, these guys are going to see it the way I see it and things like that. But, yeah, it took me a while. It did test me a little bit, but those guys definitely earned my trust. They came in and they stepped up and they did their job the way they're supposed to. So, you know, I don't have anything negative to say about my teammates. I mean, those guys, they're going through the battle. You know, Mike, Jack, Reek, Kobe, those guys stepped in and played, you know, big snaps and played a lot of snaps. And, you know, same with Ryan and Josh Jones and Tease and Jay Abrams. You know, those guys all stepped in, you know, in the departure of Jamal, who, you know, you guys know I trust him with my life. So everybody's done a great job, and, you know, I'm excited for the progress that we continue to make.
As a former nickel yourself, what do you thought of the way Kobe's handled, you know, switching to that position his first time in the league?
I mean, I think he's handled it well. I think just you can see, like, the passion that he plays with is perfect for, like, what you need with a nickel. You know what I mean? He's a feisty, you know, he wants to tackle, he wants to blitz, he wants to get pass breakups, interception, forced fumble. I think when you play that position, you got to find different ways to get the ball, because you're not going to get too many interceptions, because that's a lot of time you're in man coverage and, you know, the balls are going outside over the top. So I think he stepped in. He's done a tremendous job. He's very, like, studious. You know, he always knows what he's doing, and if he has a question, he come and ask me, and, you know, he gets it fixed. So for me, I'm just proud to see him, you know, continue to stick to it throughout the year, and, you know, I'll be expecting a leap from him next year, also being comfortable his second year in that position and really understanding and, you know, making those calls for the defense also.
Thank you.
Thank you.